We going.
Lady K, are you ready?
I know she ready.
Kiki, are you ready?
Stay ready.
Bayou Diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies then. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. She was popping in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating, enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion, they love what they're doing. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.
Yeah. We ain't even started. It's already crazy. Okay. What's up, y'all? The ladies den, and we is in here. We is in here. Jesus.
It's just one of
Try to
them
mess
days.
around with girl, try to mess around with technology, messed around and did the wrong thing. Now we done probably lost poor Kiki. I'm sending
I
her the
know,
link now.
Kiki. We always
She
lose
was
Kiki,
sitting there
y'all.
like this. Look, she was sitting there like this. Okay, what we doing? And then
like,
we left. And then we left.
I told her, I said, come on, Kiki.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Listen, y'all. We got to get my girl Kiki back. Lord have mercy.
Let me see.
Y'all
But
give
now
us a minute.
I got to send our I got to send Rana the new link.
Uh-huh.
Because I sent her the one for I just knew that doggone reusable room was gonna be it.
I know. But when I tapped on it, it said that, and I just figured maybe you know me, y'all know I ain't technical at all.
Oh, here she go.
I am not technical at all. But so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us in the ladies' den tonight. First and foremost, if this is your first time in the den,
thank you so much.
You guys are in for a treat. We are funny. We have a good time. We debate. We do all of that. So, but tonight we are going to speak on a very, very important topic, which is domestic violence.
Yes.
Hold on, y'all. I did something on my page and now my video is not coming up. There we go. We lost old Kiki. Come on back, Kiki. Hey D, I sent you the link so you can pop in. Well, you're on now. You can pop in now if you want. Oh, let
Turn
me
your
see.
volume
Ooh, I am. It's on my phone. I'm trying to turn it down.
down.
But anyway, so again, thank you guys for joining the Ladies Den. Tonight we're talking about a very, very important topic, which is domestic violence.
Yes.
We have talked about this subject before. We have had a guest on our show before. It's one of my very, very good friends, Miss Natalie Purdy. She had an amazing story to tell about her survival of domestic violence. But before
Yeah.
we get into that, all of our new den dwellers, as we call them, because this is the Ladies Den, and welcome to the Ladies Den. So every week we are wait, Lisa, what is it? Tri-coastal or it's tri-coastal, right? What
Just
is it? What,
bi-coastal.
bi-coastal?
I
We
mean, no, just
tri-coastal.
bi-coastal.
Okay.
What?
She's saying bi-coastal, but we are actually tri-coastal. We're Southern girls. I'm from New Orleans,
Oh,
Louisiana. My other host right here, Lady K. I go by Bayou Diva on the show. Lady K, that's Nisa. She's from Houston, Texas. Texas in the house. And our other host, who somehow we kicked off and we're trying to get her back on,
she coming.
she is from
Alabama.
Alabama. So
That's all the Gulf Coast though.
yeah, it's all a Gulf Coast. So we Gulf Coast sisters.
We're
But
from the third coast. That's what it is. The Gulf Coast is the
that's
third
what it is.
coast. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So every week on our show, we feature a different beverage. And this is kind of like our signature thing for our show. So we feature a different beverage every week, be it water, be it you clicked on the link. D, you clicked on the link and what happened? You weren't able to get in? We we feature a different beverage on the show every week. So because we are online now strictly, we've just been making drinks or advertising a drink that we like, and we talk about it. We give a review about it, tell you what we think about it, and trust me, we don't lie, because I done tasted something and was like, no, it might not be for me, but it could be for you. So we trying to, if y'all just hang in there 1 second, 1 second, we're trying to get our other host in. She's having some trouble. And then I know you're watching, D, but we need you to get in. Nisa, can you send her the link?
Yeah.
Just can you look her up on Facebook and just send her the link? I sent it
Yeah.
to her, but she said I guess it's not letting her in.
Hold on. Send it. Doctor. Darlene screen. Ha ha ha.
She should pop up. It's so crazy.
Okay, I sent it.
Okay. She sent it, D. So try the link that Nisa sent you. So where's Kiki?
She coming. I sent.
Did
I
you
emailed her.
send a link to Karana as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, our host and our guest for tonight is having some issues getting into the room, but we'll get them in as soon as they pop up in the green room. But again, like I said, first and foremost, if you're new to the Ladies Den, welcome. And thank you for watching the Ladies Den. We call our viewers Den dwellers. So tonight we're talking about a very important topic, which is domestic violence. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
We have talked about this last year around this time. And again, like I said, I had one of my very good friends on, Miss Natalie Purdy, who has an amazing domestic violence survival story. So, but before we get into all of that, while we're waiting on our guests to get into the room, I have to say, who that? Go Saints. I hope y'all do something tonight because I can't watch the game because I'm on this podcast here, spreading some good information. But I hope my Saints do their thing tonight, okay? Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. No, she didn't do that by my Saints. Hey, Z, there you go.
I'm hating.
She hating on my Saints. Don't be hating, baby.
Dr.
Don't be hating.
Scream.
But anyway, hey, Kim. Anyway, so like I said, each week we feature a different beverage. We have what do you call them? People that give us drinks and water. So we feature water, wine, alcohol, whatever it is. I hope you got your drink ready.
Water.
Okay. Well, for me, I ain't drinking no water.
It works.
This is what I am drinking. It is called rum chata.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but look, Nisa, it's a pineapple cream this time. You remember I had the peppermint one.
Yeah.
So I thought that they had two new flavors. They had pineapple cream and coconut cream. So I got the pineapple cream, and that is what I am drinking on tonight. Nisa K, what you drinking, baby?
Okay, well, I am celebrating my 11 years of eat and drink with me. So
yeah,
today is double celebration. So I went to my neighborhood CVS over here, and that's normally where I get my beverages from anyway these days. So, when we first started out, we were trying to support our Black-owned businesses and beverages and stuff.
Right.
So I went and found Snoop.
Baby, she got a big bottle.
I mean, did you leave it in the store? What is
Cali Gold?
Cali Gold. Is that a wine? Is it a wine?
This is sparkling.
Oh, okay.
And I got my little. I started drinking. This is carrot juice and with turmeric in it. So that's what my juice is gonna be. So
Wait, you mixing that with the wine?
I'm doing a evening mimosa, darling.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
You do your evening mimosa.
Here we go.
All right. Well, you gotta sip it and tell us what you think. Kiki, I know you just came on, but there's another flavor of that rum chata. So I am drinking the rum chata pineapple cream. Y'all, when I tell y'all this thing is. It
know, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. It is good. If you like pineapple, if you like that coconut fruity behind that, yeah, you'll like it. It's really good.
I'm not a coconut girl, but the pineapple, yeah.
Yeah, the pineapple. Okay. Yeah. So what you drinking on, Kiki? So
I don't have anything right now, but I'm gonna go get something to sip on in just a minute.
In just a minute. Okay. So before we get started, we need you guys, all of our viewers, to go and follow us on Facebook at The Ladies Den. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Ladies Den Podcast, and follow us on Instagram at The Ladies Den 2023. So again, Nisa, do we have any announcements before we get into this? Do we want to do any right now?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do some announcements. We sure can. Here we go.
Church announcements are as follows.
Okay, KK.
Here we go.
Lady K, are you ready?
I know she ready.
Key
Hey, it's Lady K of the Ladies Den. Welcome to the Den. Listen, if you're a business owner or if you have an event that you want to promote, we welcome you to advertise in the Den. All you have to do is send us your information to theladiesden23@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that you get all the information that you need. Our prices are very comparable, and we welcome you to come and chat with us and let our den dwellers know what you have going on. Again, send us your information to theladiesden23@gmail.com, and we'll make sure you get all of your information. Thank you for following us, and thank you for rocking with us every Thursday, live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And listen, keep rocking with us, okay? Thank you to all of our den dwellers, and we'll see you in the den. Bye-bye.
If you guys want to advertise with us, your business, whatever you're doing, any events that you have going on, just email us again at theladiesden23@gmail. So tonight, again, you guys, we're going to talk about something very important, which is domestic violence.
Yes.
Over the last year or so, we have been trying to find some males who have dealt with domestic violence to come and share their story. But unfortunately, we have not been able to find those people. But if you are a male and you're watching tonight and you want to chime in and talk about some things that you've been through, we would gladly welcome it, and we greatly appreciate it. So I'm just going to read you something. Domestic Violence Awareness Month was first introduced in 1981 by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. It was created not only to bring more awareness to others, but to connect and unify millions of affected victims that have been battered due to domestic violence. It hopes to break the chains of violence that we currently have. Never had a personal deal with domestic violence. No, never had that, but I did have a stalker. I did have that type of thing, but never physically. But I did learn that domestic violence is not only physical. So it can be some other different ways. So technically, maybe I did deal with it and didn't know that that's what it was at the time. But we have several people in our circle that has dealt with domestic violence and are domestic violence survivors. I'm glad that they're around to tell their stories, and that they didn't let those situations break them. So tonight, and I apologize that I didn't get your bio D, because you my sister, like I know you. I ain't really felt like I had to do that, but so tonight we're gonna talk to my sister, my friend, Dr. Darlene Screen, who is a domestic violence survivor. Her story is, get the tissues. Her story is awesome, but it just shows that domestic violence does not have to break you. Domestic violence, if you're a survivor, does not have to be the end of your life per se without actually dying.
Right.
Because some people feel like they've been through this, so their life is over. They can't do anything. They don't, nobody loves them and this and that. So it's not the end. It's not the end, but you have to be strong, and you have to have a strong support system to help you through a situation like this. Again, I've never physically been in a domestic violence situation, so I don't know what it entails. I don't know how it makes you feel. I don't know how it is to come out of something like that. But we have to keep talking about this. We have to keep putting it out there because we do want domestic violence victims to know that they're not alone, to know that there are people out there, to know that there's someone out there that can help you, and there's someone out there who's going through the same thing that you're going through. So we got to keep talking about it. We got to keep putting it out there. I thank God for people like Dr. Scream because she's willing to share her story. A lot of women are embarrassed. A lot of men are embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to share their story. They just don't want to talk about it, especially if they've gotten through it. They just feel like I don't want to talk about this. It's done. It's over. I'm safe. That, and they just want to brush it under the rug. And it's really not the best thing. Because normally those people who do that are the ones that's not getting the help that they need. So we got to definitely just keep talking about it, y'all. Keep letting people know that there is help out there, that there's someone out there to help them. There's someone out there to listen to them, and that they're not alone. The main thing that a domestic violence victim think is that they're alone.
Right.
And we have to let them know that they're not alone.
And I was that person.
Right.
And
Well,
when you're in it, you're surviving. When you get through it, you've overcome it. So it become a testimony. It's not to say that do we wish that had happened to us? No. But then once you get through it, you begin to know and get to that point to know that it's not for you. It's for someone else to help them get through it so they can see that if you can get through it, I know I can get through it. So you no longer sharing the story, you're sharing your truth. And the ones who are not sharing it or are afraid to share it, I'm going to say I was them once. And it wasn't that I was afraid, I was ashamed to silence. So the going through it silenced me. And because I went through the traumatic experience of childhood rape, dysfunctional. When you grow in dysfunction and you don't know how to get out of it, you marry your trauma.
Oh wow.
Not to say that I went to the altar and I said I do. You can date your trauma because you're trying to figure out why this happened to me. That goes back to what you just said. They think that they're alone. When it's 10 million every year, 1 out of 10 women of 10 million people is happening to every day. 1 out of 9 men of 10 million is happening to every day.
Oh, wow.
From the research that I done and checking on it, because I have been through this, because I educated myself, because when I moved here, 2014, my kids got grown. It was time to move. It's time to take care of mom. So once we moved here, I transferred my nonprofit here. But I still wasn't healed. I was still healing. So I took courses to figure out why I was so angry all the time. And it stemmed from the root. It wasn't just the domestic violence. It was everything that I had been through. So when I teach that you have to go back to, it's almost like a tree. A tree can't grow unless you water it, right? If you still watering that pain, that means you're going to go back to and date what you familiar to. So that's the same as marrying your trauma. If you keep going back to if you don't go to the root, you just keep going to the limbs of the tree, the limbs of the pain still hanging on and you still filling up that suitcase. So you carrying baggage. You carrying baggage and that baggage is going to transform to whoever you're dating next. And the same person that you dated last time that hurt you, you dating the same familiar spirit, because it's transitioning.
It's
You don't know.
familiar.
It's familiar to you.
Mhm.
Sometimes change, and I'm gonna say Black people, that's the scariest thing for a Black person is change. And they don't even know that it could be good.
Yeah.
You are what
We
make the change.
we talked about that too, people, and it's a lot of people always think it's old people because they set in their ways. It's not only older people, it's every age, every race.
Right,
People are more
right,
comfortable with the familiar and what they know.
right, right.
It's
Because
because it's
domestic
just more
violence,
comfortable.
it don't have a gender. It don't have an ethnicity. It don't have an age on it. It happened to elders. It happened to adults. It happened to children. And children, it becomes the psychological abuse of watching it. The
Well,
one thing I
I
can
just
say,
read something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
one thing I can say when I was going through it, I'm gonna say narcissist, because it would never happen when the kids were awake. It would
Oh,
always happen when the kids are in bed.
hmm.
Until it was that last beating, and my 9-year-old child was standing at the door, not knowing she was watching. And I didn't find out she'd seen anything until she was like 16 years old. And she talked about it then. But all this while, I thought I was hiding it.
Wow. And I just read something very disturbing because it says, I'm just going to read this. It says every year, right around 10 million people, every year,
Yes, ma'am.
10 million people become victims of domestic violence,
Yep.
now this is what's blowing my mind, which equates to just about 20 people per minute.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
That
ma'am.
might not seem like a lot with all the people in the world, but
Mm-hmm.
20 people per minute.
Mm-hmm. It's really
And then it
percent.
says it affects not only women, but men and children of all different races, status, religions, and cultures. And it
Yep.
says no one is immune to it. But here's the other signs, you guys, when you think that because he or she is not hitting you, it's not domestic violence. It says domestic violence shows itself in a number of different forms, whether it's punching,
Mm-hmm.
slapping,
Mm-hmm.
choking, or threatening, manipulating,
Mm-hmm.
yelling, and many others.
Mm-hmm.
And it says no matter the situation, domestic violence is never okay. But somebody might
Emotional
think
and
because they're
verbal.
yelling at them, it's not domestic violence. Because
Yeah.
that would have been in my mind
That's verbal.
until I learned better.
Mm-hmm. That's verbal. And it's also financial abuse. And that's when the other party has, I'm going to say, they have the control over all the finances. You can't touch none because they're controlling it. They're controlling how much you spend. They're controlling the bank account. They see what you're spending and they want to see it. If they can't see it, they're not giving it to you. So he's the main provider. So that's financial abuse. There's many forms of abuse. It's financial, it's emotional, it's verbal, it's sexual. And a lot of women don't know and get it confused because you're my husband. If I tell you no and you still proceed, that is not rape. Yes, to hell it is. I said no and I meant no. If you proceed, you just rape me. I don't care if you my husband. I told you no. It's rape,
Wow.
women.
Say that one more time for the people in the back, D.
It's rape, women. Just
No
say
means
no.
no means
And
what?
no means the what the little song, the meme. No to the no, to the no, 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 now.
Wow. Well, Dee, if you don't mind, kind of tell us your story so we can, understand and go with you through your journey that you went through.
I give you a little piece starting from, it stemmed from the root of the childhood rape. At the age of 8, I became the dinner to my stepfather's plate. At the time, didn't know it was rape because no one took the time to educate. By the time I was 12, he began to crawl in the midst of the night. So I slept with a knife to protect me from the thief that was allowed to rob me through the night. Moved on, and it became me watching my mom being abused. So that was familiar to me. And I was that one saying, it'll never happen to me. It'll never happen to me. And what I did, married right into it. Married right into it. I'm trying to give you pieces of, I have a book that I had put out to see if any other women wanted to participate in it. Resuscitation from Pain to Power. And it's actually giving you briefing of what I've been through, not just me. Some people that I have, women that I haven't ran into any men, but some women that I have run into. What I just gave you, the briefing of the rape. After he shut the door, I cried many a nights, told my best friend, and she turned her back. Shortly after that, I began to give up my fight and began to fear I would never have another peaceful night. By the age of 12, I began to sleep with the light, thinking to myself, this just ain't right. So confused in my mind, I began to sleep with the knife to protect myself from the thief in the night who had been allowed to rob me of my childhood life. Emotionally disgusted with the thought of taking my own life. All this pain, I just can't take it. Stripped of my pride, no need to undress me when I already feel naked. So I went through life feeling like I had no clothes on. So that shamed me to silence, shunned me to being by myself. So I was vulnerable to men because the way a man showed me was love was through taking it from me. So I didn't know love. I didn't know love because I didn't have that father figure. I didn't have that silent figure. And I think I just revealed to my sister that my story, well, the kept secret, I had been the kept secret. I'm going to say damn near all my life. I was the kept secret. I was the kept secret because two of my uncles, two of my aunts, we both share the same father. And that was because my mom was raped.
Wait. Go back. Say that one more time.
Two of my uncles, two of my aunts, we both share the same father. And that was because my mom was raped at 13. And this was just confirmed to me. I've been new because my grandmother told me maybe 2 weeks before she passed. And I don't think I took it hard because it's like bits and pieces I've heard along my journey. So this sent me to not really spiral out of control, but to search for love for all the wrong reasons. when thought I was searching for love, I was really searching for a father. But you can't be searching for two of the same thing, because am I sleeping with my father? No.
Mm. Wow.
So I had to distinguish the two when I got older. And it was still confusing to me because I would always ask the question, who is my father? Who is my father? Never gave an answer. This was just revealed and confirmed July 17th, this year, 2024, who my father was. So all this time, I've been carrying that weight. I've been carrying that pain with this smile on my face, not knowing, not all the time, but some of the time I would go in that closet and just cry. Like, why me? Like you say, domestic violence happened to, and this is a form of domestic violence because that emotionally drained me. It emotionally killed me inside. Although I was smiling on the outside, I've been carrying this. I'm 57 years old. I've been carrying this weight all my life. And it was just revealed to me. It was just confirmed to me. Do I feel like that was fair? No. And I tried my best to protect my family because by any means, no means, do I share my story to demean anybody else or tear anybody else down. But I share my story in preference that it will save a life, touch a life, and better a life for the change of better, from bitter to better, because that's where I had to come from bitter. I'm better. I'm a whole lot better, baby, because I couldn't speak without, because I was still hurting and I hadn't healed. Now, yeah, I could talk about it. It still bothers some of my family members that I still speak about it, but this is my life. This is my life. You can't judge me because this is my story. Who are you to condemn me for my story? Nobody can judge me. That's why I used to have this saying, and I still say it. I don't put no cover on nobody because you don't know who or what somebody done been through. You can't judge me how I celebrate my glory until you've heard my story. And when I attached on to that, okay, you can say what you want to say. I don't care now. I'm a strong Black queen because there was times I called the police plenty of times. You know what they say? We didn't see it. I had a broke arm. We didn't see it. Broke arm. We didn't see it. Teeth knocked out my mouth. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. To a point my son was 2 weeks old. And I think that was the last fight. And we was at this apartment. And I remember taking out the garbage. And when I got ready to come back in, I saw my mate coming out my best friend's back door. That's how close our apartments was. And I looked and I said, what the hell? And he ran back in the house. So at the time, my cousin was babysitting. Well, she was there to help me because I just had my son. And I told her, watch them. I'm finna take a walk because I know what's finna happen. Anytime you're caught, I'm to blame for your mess up. So that's a fight. That's a fight. So I told my cousin, if I didn't come back such and such time, call the popo. Walk. I don't know. I walked far. I know I walked far because I ended up at one of his aunt's house. And I don't know why I went to her house, because I never told, like, ran to anybody, because I was ashamed. But that particular night, I went to her house, and she say, "What? Well, who with you?" I say, "Nobody." She said, "Hold on, come in." She saw that I was crying, and I went to telling her what was going on. Maybe 10, 15 minutes later, he drove up, and he was like, "Get in the car." And she said, "You better not hurt that baby." And he was like, "Auntie, ain't nobody, what she done told you? Ain't nobody touch her." Got down that road, and I start saying, "I want to go home." I'm calling my mom. I want to go back. I want to go home to my mom. He was like, "Oh yeah, you want to go to your mom? I'm gonna send you home in a body bag." He started driving really, really, really fast. And every time he would hit the brakes, it was as he was trying to throw me out the windshield, because he was hitting the brakes that hard. When we got close to the house, it was a railroad track. And how fast he was going, the car went up in the air and came down. And when it came down, it spent. But he caught the wheel, and right as he caught the wheel, we was turning the corner. He was going fast. But I didn't care. All I know is, in my head, if I jump out the car, I'm saving my life. I wouldn't even think about how fast the car was going. So I jumped out the car, because I heard the police, and I know they was right there. Police came, and as they hit in the corner, he's getting out the car and came around and started kicking me in my stomach. I just had my son 2 weeks old. It was a lady cop, and she wrestled with him and she handled that man like she was a man. And she was like, you want to hit women? You want to hit women? And she took out a stick and just went to beating him. He got arrested. That was the last fight of many. He got arrested. But it took me to be half past gone away from him for them to put the warrant on him, because he got out and he came right back home. This time I was beat so bad I couldn't see out of neither one of my eyes. Oh, now y'all want to put the helicopters in the air to look for him. Okay. Got arrested this time. They didn't let him out. That was my get out. But at this time, I'm like, this is where the financial abuse came in. There was no connection to any bank accounts that had my name with his name. But my aunt used to always say, "Don't change your last name." And I listened to her. I don't know why I did, but I did. I never changed my last name. So I had applied for housing, but it had been some years that I hadn't been back to see what was going on, because I was married. So she took me to housing. And before I got out that car, she said, "Don't go in there telling them people the truth. This the one time God gonna understand why you finna tell this lie." I say, "Ma'am?" She said, "Don't tell them people you married. You better spark up some tears." I do it, baby. That was easy, because I was already crying on the inside. So when I went in there, I gave her my name, and she was like, "You are them 196. I'm like, "Huh?" I say, "Ma'am, my kids, I'm staying with my grandma. My kids have nothing to eat because they eating up everything I buy. There's about 10 of us in this house." And I need somewhere to go. And I'm going to say it was an angel, because she saw something in me to say, "I'm going to talk to the supervisor." I say, "Yes, ma'am." She say, "Answer your phone now, because I'm going to call you." I say, "Okay." So I get home that night and I call my mom. And I'm crying and I'm like, I don't know what to do. The rent finna be due, the bills finna be due. Me and my kids ain't gonna have nowhere to go. And she say, you know that walk-in closet you got? I say, yes, ma'am. She say, go in there and you talk to God. I said, well, how you talk to God? She say, just how you talking to me. I said, okay. Well, I put the kids to sleep, put them in the room, put my baby in the bed with my cousin, go in this closet. I said, okay. I was told to talk to you like I'm talking to somebody. Mind you, my closet didn't have a door, a lock on the door. And I'm a neat freak. So you know how you keep the shoe boxes lined up, color coordinated? That's how my shoe boxes was, at the top of the closet. So after I said my prayer, I say, Lord, I need to know that you are real. I need to know this because I don't know what else to do. And God be my witness that one shoebox flew across the closet, hit the back of the closet, and hit the floor. And I just looked. And you ought to saw how I was trying to tear that door down to get up out that closet. Because I'm like, what the hell just happened? Tried to turn the knob, but the knob wouldn't turn. It was locked. But my door didn't have no lock on it, but it was locked. But as soon as I said, okay, I asked for that. I asked for that. That door started turning like somebody was on the other side opening the door. And I walked out that closet looking back. I'm like, okay, I did my due diligence. She say, talk to him like I'm talking to her. Next morning, 8 a.m. on the dot, my phone rang. Is this Miss Scott? I say, yes, ma'am. She say, this is Miss Henderson. I'll never forget that lady name. This is Miss Henderson with the housing department. You can come to orientation. I say, ma'am. She say, how fast can you get here? I said, well, I gotta call my aunt to come take me. She said, okay. So I got off the phone, called my aunt, told her what the lady said, and she went to shouting, glory, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I'm like, why is she shouting? So I'll be there in 15 minutes to pick you up. I said, okay. She get there. She say, you don't know what's going on, do you? I say, no, not really. Say, you'll see. Get to the housing authority. They got all these papers lined up for me to sign. She say, call my name. She say, here's a pen. Just sign here and sign here. I said, well, I was taught to read everything before I sign it. What am I signing? She say, you've been approved. I say, approved for what? She say, you were approved for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but if you can find a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for the same price, it's yours. I say, you wait. I'm moving? She say, yes, ma'am. I say, hold up. I'm moving? She say, yes, ma'am. You read? I say, yes. I had everybody in I had everybody in the office not a dry eye. Okay, I couldn't tell them why I was crying so hard, but I know I do. Y'all just don't know. You just don't know what this means to me. I can't say nothing else. That's all I can say. Y'all just don't know what this means to me. She said, go on out there and find you somewhere to live. I say, all right, I'll be back. I'll be back. Left there. My auntie say, you know now, don't you? I say, mm-hmm. Left there. She takes me to the food stamp office. Bam. Got approved there. Everything started happening. in my favor. But before everything was at a standstill, because God can't bless you when something is attached to you that's not ready to go with you. So I began to receive these blessings. A year later, he started writing me, "If I can't have you, nobody can." Oh, really? Okay.
How did he find you?
His sisters, because I was still, you know, I never kept my kids from their grandparents. And as they got older, I still was like, I'm not telling my kids anything bad. You know, they're not going to be babies forever. They're going to grow up. They're going to have questions. And I hope they're ready to get them them answers. Because my answer's going to be my truth. Now, what y'all tell them, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But all I know is my truth. This is my truth. Now I got backlash, baby. I got backlash when I started sharing this story. You need to tell the truth. I am telling the truth. Well, they said it didn't happen that way. I say, well, tell them to share their story. I never told them they couldn't share their story.
Right.
All I know is I'm sharing my truth.
That is crazy.
Nobody was there to save me. I saved myself from everything that I done been through. I educated myself. Like I said, went and took the class for anger management because I wanted to know why I was so angry all the time. Took the class for family violence because I wanted to know. I educated myself.
I need an anger management class. I think everybody needs an anger management. I know I need one. Lord, I know I need one. I think everybody need an anger management class, and not because they're angry, but V teaches anger management. So some of the things that I watched her go through her class, it's like, oh, girl, I need that. Oh, Jesus, I need that. I need anger management. Lord, but it's just awesome to see you today, see how you are, see how you smile, see how you uplift other women, and just it's like when you speak, you have a joy in speaking now. Even though you were talking about your story, I didn't still hear that pain.
Mm-mm.
So
I'm healed,
it's
baby.
amazing. It's amazing that you can speak with joy and still smile through everything that you've been through.
I still get a little backlash. I still get it, but it doesn't bother me like it used to because I know my truth. And you can't stop me from sharing my truth. It's no longer a story, it's my truth. You didn't go through it. It was two people there. I'm going to say three: me, him, and God. So, what he's saying, I don't know. But I know what I'm saying, which is the truth. And I could say it if he was standing right here in front of me, the same thing. And anytime I have shared my story, I never altered off. I've said the same thing all these years. I never said anything different. I never changed course. It's always been the same thing. You
So
can tell this
is he
person
free
lying.
now? Is he free
Yeah,
now?
he's free, married. I've heard he's
He
changed.
married. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard he's changed. You know, some people can't
Mm.
change.
And they
And
can.
I'm happy for him. I don't have no malice. I don't have no anger, nor like I used to. Yeah, at one point, yeah, I hated that man. But do I hate him now? No, no,
I don't know
because
if I could ever do
I have my soulmate.
that part. Okay, that part. That part right there. That part right there. Like, I mean, And that's why I can say you're a strong woman. And you know, the thing about saying about other situations is because I'm who I am, I can say, oh, yeah, he'd be just what she had just played, that right there. But then that's just me talking because I've never been in that situation.
Mhm.
Because when you're in that situation, what you said you was gonna do ain't really, it might not happen that way. So,
right.
you know,
Like
but
I
and
said,
then
I
you
need
say
to
if he
say
was
that.
standing in front of you right now, baby, if he was standing in front of me right now, I'd have a frying pan on that head, okay? 'Cause right, Lisa, listen.
There was an
Listen, and
incident.
it's crazy that you can laugh about it, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I can forgive somebody, but if you hurt me, if you really hurt me,
Yeah, there was an
mm,
incident where he he didn't sneak out. He left, but I also found out that a young lady that he used to date, um, his mom had brought her down to break us up because
the mama,
she didn't see she
now
didn't
she
want
need her
him
whole ass beat.
she didn't want him with nobody that already had kids. So she didn't like
No,
that
a
we
lot
was
of mothers
together
like that.
at the beginning. So he left and he came in. I think it was like 5 in the morning, and I'm on the sofa asleep. And I was like, "Oh, so you don't know that it's daylight now?" And I stood up, and when I stood up, when I see that man slapped me so hard, he left his handprint on my face. So I waited till he went to sleep. And I did just what my grandma said. I went and put a pot of hot grits on the stove. I put 2 pots. She said, "Oh, because that second pot is for he gonna come. He ain't gonna see that first pot. He gonna come." Soon as he went to sleep, I dashed it on him. He came around that corner. I say, "And what?" And I had the other one waiting on him. You
So
ain't gonna
that's
walk in
really
this house
work.
and
I
beat
was
me
gonna say,
mad.
I want somebody to make me mad, B, so I can put some grits on you, girl. That really works. They've been
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
so. This ain't new. This the Medea stuff story ain't new. People been
Oh
doing
no.
this for years, huh?
And I love me some grits.
Baby, you gotta talk to an old soul, because they the one started that.
Baby, I love me
Wow.
some grits now.
Yes, yes, yes. We Southern girls, you know, we gotta have our
Ooh, I
grits now.
love
You
me
know, we
some
gotta
grits.
have our
Oh,
Love
grits.
yeah.
me some
We
grits.
Southern girls. Wow. Well, Miss Karana, who is our other guest. How are you, lady? Welcome to the den again and again. I think you've been on here like 3 times. You just love us. We love you so much. So why don't you go ahead and share your story with us? Tell us about your.
I want to first start by saying that it's a lot of work. We got a lot of work to do in communicating. And then I thank you, ladies, for this platform. My story, is there an echo? Oh,
Yeah, a little bit.
it's because I'm on the live. My story is way too similar to Dr. Scream's. That means that there are too many of us who are letting other women and young girls endure things because we're not speaking up in time. The childhood rape. I never heard it worded that I was married to my trauma. It's very apparent now that that's what it was. I recognize that a lot of the things that I did, a lot of the patterns and tendencies that I was stuck in is because of that. And many of y'all know I wrote a book also called Residue, and it was about that Not just that story, but all the things in my life that left a little bit of residue that was keeping me from being the best version of me.
Mm.
And that in my nature, me being from a big, close, strong family, it put a blocker in my mind. Having the kind of mindset, like I was a brawler, like I had them hands, like didn't care, man, woman, child, I didn't care, and I was very kind of aggressive. So me being who I am or I was did not enable me to see myself at all as a victim. I wasn't able to recognize what I was dealing with as abuse. And no, there was never a time where anybody balled up their fist and punched me in the face. But I dealt with so many forms of abuse, especially verbal abuse. And things escalated in one incident where I ended up almost getting killed. Because it went from me being, that bold, aggressive alpha female confronting this man to me being beat, stabbed, and left for dead.
Wow.
And it was like, it felt like forever. It was probably start to finish a 45-minute fight.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. I'm talking about hand-to-hand combat in the trenches. Like I'm trying to go blow for blow, but leading up to that, every other incident, we had a couple light, milder incidents prior to that. And I'm feeling like, I could go toe for toe with this cat. So I never felt like I was in an abusive situation, but he went from being one of the biggest D-boys in town to one of the biggest crackheads in town. So that drug took his mind over and totally changed him. And because we had 3 young children at the time, I kept hiding things from my family, and I kept justifying things. And I was so embarrassed. He out here, I just got a whole house full of furniture, and I come home from work and the VCR gone. And I mean, I got in a car accident, got a settlement, took my debit card, took all my money. And it was like, I was too embarrassed to tell my family, knowing they would have dealt with them. And I didn't understand. I still don't understand to this day where that shame came from. That was my most serious one. And the strong fight that I had in me was because my kids was in that house. And he actually, at one point, because he kept snatching at this time, and this was in 1993. At this time, we had phones, house phones. He kept snatching all the phones out of the wall. So I had I think I had 3 phones at the time, one in the kitchen, one in the living room, and one upstairs in our bedroom. And the one phone in the kitchen, he plugged that joker back in and he called my father. He said, "You better come get this bitch before I kill her." Oh, Jimmy Hosey. You about to get it. Now I got a whole different sense of confidence, like a fool. Now this was like 3 o'clock in the morning, mind you. My dad was asleep. He probably didn't call me out of my name. In my mind, I heard him call me out of my name. Because my daddy would have definitely, I don't know. But it felt like it took my father 2 hours to get there. But we kept fighting the whole time. We kept fighting, and I was getting tired. And now we in the kitchen, and he picked me up and he slammed me on the kitchen table, and it was like all four legs. It was like a cartoon. All the table legs just went out, and I'm trying to get up, and I fried chicken that day, I think, and I'm trying to get to this drawer, and there was this big. I had this old cast iron skillet. And I'm like, I'm gonna bust him in the head with this skillet. That was my first thought. The skillet is full of chicken grease, so I swing it, I try to hit him. Now it's grease everywhere. So neither one of us can't stand up because we slipping and sliding. And but in the midst of the fight, I made it to the drawer that was next to the stove, and I grabbed a knife. So I pulled the knife on him, and he ended up overpowering me, and that's when it really went left. But even stabbed, I'm still fighting. And the only reason he stopped is because the knife broke off inside me. Even though this was over 30 years ago, I never spoke it out loud until just now. I wrote it, I put this it's the chapter in my book. I did write about it, but I've never spoken about it. After I talked to the police, didn't talk to my parents, my family, nobody. And a big part of my life has been still me shame of what I went through. I didn't do anything. I was attacked, but I carried that around. I never told my children. And I never told my children until this year because I wrote that book. And I never wanted them to know, having boys, especially having boys, I did not want them to identify with that part of their father. I felt like they may internalize that. And so I carried that. And it was weighing me down all these years. February 7th, 1993, this happened. And I never spoke it out loud until a couple months ago. It's a weight that I don't understand the psychology of why we choose silence. Why shame is the automatic go-to for so many of us. I don't know, but hearing somebody else's story tonight that is way too similar to mine lets me know that we got to do better. We got to do better. And I didn't even get better with the mindset of acknowledging domestic violence in my situations. I've been to jail twice. Both times is because after that incident, both times was when a man put his hands on me and I blacked out. Ended up catching cases. One that every time I apply for a new license or something, it still comes up. Because I just won't stop. I've got this drive now. It's like, I'm not going to be your victim. I'm not going to be your victim. I'm not going to be your victim. Yeah. So I did not realize or recognize that I had such a journey with domestic violence until January of 2024. After I wrote my book, I was sitting down with the publicist and talking about my game plan for launching the book. And he's talking about categories and hashtags and how to market this book. And he mentioned domestic violence. I said, that's not my journey. He said, ma'am, what is chapter 4 about? I still, in all these years, did not acknowledge that I too had a story of domestic violence. I too had a trauma, a bunch of traumas that allowed me or kind of caused me to accept things, not just accept the things, but hide the things from the people who I knew for sure would protect me. So I was kind of groomed to be a victim, and I basically stood in line and kept going back because I didn't acknowledge what it was. And I came to that conclusion that I can't any longer carry the weight of guilt and shame to spare anybody else the discomfort of confronting the truth. And that's what made me feel comfortable talking to my kids and putting this out. And when I saw you guys post, I said, I'm in. I'm all in, because I know somebody else needs to recognize what this is. You know, that emotional abuse. I've definitely been in a lot more emotionally abusive situations where, you know, you might want to get cute and go out with your girls, and then the guys start tripping and doing something to start an argument, trying to make you not want to go out. Girl, it's a trap. Take your butt out. Go ahead. He just don't want you to go out with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
But he know he was just out with the boys yesterday, or whoever he was with yesterday. So it's a lot of that I went through. Was married to a man who his mother was a drug addict. And every time she would come back from her binge where she was out and she sold everything out of the house, or she left him and his little brother alone for days and days at a time when they were young children, she'd come back and she would cry trying to make up with her sons. Fast forward 20 something years when we're married, now this man can't stand to see me cry because he looks at that as as manipulation, like his mother used to do to him.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I was sick in the hospital for 3.5 months, dang near dead, he looked at that and resented me and pretty much verbally abused me. The whole time, if I'm crying, he's looking with disgust, like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I'm trying not to die. And that would be my response. I didn't know what else to say. I'm just laying there weak. The doctor don't even know what's wrong with me. You asking me? I don't know. So, the verbal abuse. The one thing that I was fortunate to not really have the financial abuse, because my daddy always used to say, I keep money. And that's one thing I took from him. Keep money. I never, ever, ever wanted to be in a situation where a man could control me over no money. And but every other form, I've pretty much experienced it and didn't recognize it until a few months ago.
So what did you associate with what you were going through with? If you didn't think it was domestic violence, like, what did you think? He was just mean? And I mean, like, what were you?
On the surface level, I would be like, he's just tripping. On the deeper level, I'm like, we were fighting. It was just, we were fighting. It was never, and as strong as I was, as good a hands as I had, that's still a man.
Yeah.
So it's not a fight that I could ever win. But at the same time, I didn't look at it like that. Like, yeah, I tore him up. Girl, look at you.
You wasn't fighting him. You was
Right.
fighting the demon that lived within him.
Within him.
You could
Exactly.
never,
Exactly.
you could never win with the demon.
And couldn't. And you know, I went through so much of emotional abuse even after I left him alone and I moved on. And when I left my kid's father and then I ended up with the man that I married, he would still say things to me. I was a young mother and he would still say things to try to dig at me. Like the girl that he ended up with, he's like, she got a degree, you ain't got shit. He would say stuff like that to me for no reason. Like, bruh, okay. You know, just things to try to make me feel bad. But guess what? She in prison now because she was embezzling from her company. So, I mean, I don't know. I just look back now, and if I was really taking tally at the time and acknowledging for what it is, I'm sure I have so many stories. Because that demon that he was battling most certainly made him really, really be like horrible to me at times. And I always had his back, like no matter what. I'm talking about when he was out there jacking people. People come to the house looking for him, about to do something to him, and I step out like, yo, you know who I am, right? Yo, them hosies about to come at you. And I'm protecting this dude.
Wow.
But he turned around and, you know, take my car and be gone for a week, and I can't get to work.
A week?
A week. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ooh, baby.
Yep. So I've had a woman
Did he ever
call
come to your job?
No, he never came to my job. So he was on the low with his stuff because of the family that I come from. He would never ever do anything in the streets. No. Never ever. This woman called me one time. She called the house and she going on and on and on about how she been to every house I ever had and she never gonna leave him alone. All this stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I'm telling you, I had now being from a small town, and she knows me, y'all. So she know that wasn't something she could get away with. She knew that it was on site, but I don't know where this girl was hiding. But it took me years to see her. The next time I saw that girl was when it was a Christmas Eve. I was going to pick my children up because he had the kids, and now this was years and years later. But I was going to pick the kids up because I was going to get them for Christmas. I see all these flashing lights and police and firemen and paramedics. I go up the stairs. They lived on the second. I didn't know she lived with them, but it was a second floor apartment. He beat that girl half to death, and that was the next time I saw her. And the police, like, she was beat so badly that, I mean, she looked like a Klingon in the face, like her face didn't look real. And the paramedics act like they were scared to touch her, and they beat. They literally asked me. They literally asked me to help cover the girl up, like, so they could put her on the stretcher. I mean, it was like, but in that moment, it was, I hate to say it, it was like that. It was just that moment. All I had to do was meet eyes with her. Because you called my house, girl. I wasn't looking for you. You called me. So I didn't see him for years after that. I don't even know what happened with the case or whatever. Oh, in my case, let me go back to my case. He went to jail only for 4 months. And here's why he only went to jail for 4 months. The victim advocate, I wanted to rest on that on purpose. The victim advocate called me and told me, oh, this is you good. The state took over the case. You don't need to show up. You don't have to show up. We got this. Then on the other end, when he goes to court to an arraignment, whatever the level was, they like, oh, she must not want to pursue this. She didn't show up. So he got out. Never went to actual prison. He was never convicted of the stabbing, assault, whatever, attempted murder. He never was convicted of it. So,
Wait,
yeah.
so why did they not give you the correct court date or time or?
Oh, it was a lady victim advocate from the court system, courthouse, whatever. She worked for the county, Mercer County, Pennsylvania, you bastards. She told me, you do not have to show up. We'll let you know if you need to testify, but it's not. She was like, this isn't trial. You don't need to show up. So I didn't.
Did she know him or something?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question.
Looking back, she may have. It, like I said, small town politics. It was very small town. I don't know. She might have. But that lady told me on multiple occasions. She called me through my job. How are you doing, Miss Hosey? You know, like playing nice. But she flat out told me I did not need to be there. They would let me know when the trial starts. Next thing I know, he was out. So, any of my family watching, that's what happened.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I never talked about it. Never.
Wow. So this is a question for both of you. At what point did each of you say, enough is enough? I am not going to be a victim anymore. I am not going.
For me,
well, not a victim, because you've always been a victim to what happened.
Right.
But what point did each of you say, you know what? I'm not going to let this consume my life anymore. I have to do something. And when you got to that point, what is that something that you did to make yourself feel like I am better than what has happened to me?
For me, my journey is much younger. It's very young. When I'm a carpenter by trade. So I was always around working with men. I've even been like, we'll call it assaulted on job sites. Like a man groping me, pulling a gun on me. As a singer, I quit singing because you get in the studio and men literally, I kept being victimized. So when I turned 49, I think that's the year that I really, like the lion woke up in me. Like, nah, it's just nah. Just nah, you probably don't want to. I'm all the way asserting myself. I'm taking my voice back. My jobs, people, I let a lot of things slide, and because I felt like I was the dominant one in my mind. I can dominate you anytime I want to. You're not doing nothing, I don't let you. So that was how I justified it. I can stop this at any time I want to. So I let stuff happen. Literally, that's the logic that was running through my mind, which makes zero sense. But I just got to the point where I asserted myself from the beginning. I didn't let things build up. I didn't let things slide anymore. I started to speak how I felt. And I read a book called The Four Agreements. And one of the things in there was don't take anything personally. So I got in so much trouble all the time because of my reaction to people's actions. So it caused me to internalize things. I stopped defending myself because of the level of defense that I would exert.
Mm-hmm.
So reading that book helped me to express my discomfort, frustration, dislike, disdain, whatever for what somebody did or said to me. I can express, you know what, I don't like that, I don't appreciate that, I don't want that, without punching you in the mouth. So I mean, like for real, it was that serious. There's no in between with me. I'm either going to walk away, take a deep breath, or you about to go night night. So it literally took for me to turn 49 years old. I'm just now 52. So the last 3 years, I got to that place where I just acknowledge, you know what, Karana, you can express that you don't like or want something, or you don't appreciate how someone is treating you without you going all the way to the left. There is a middle ground. Walk that line, embrace that line, because you're either passive or you're insane. So I just had to have that self-actualization. And once I started like realizing, oh dang, this feels good to just tell somebody, no, I don't like that. No, I actually don't want that. No, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was then 3 years ago is when my journey to no more started.
With me, it was the last incident where I saw a blur vision of my 9-year-old child standing at the door after I had been beaten. I'm gonna say after I had been raped, then put into a tub of hot water, tried to get out the window, and he heard me and kicked the door in and pulled me out of the tub and proceeded to beat me some more and said, if you call the police, that's gonna be the last breath you take. And when he walked out the door, I began to rise to try and get up because I was weak. Like she say, I don't know how long we had been fighting. I just know it had been a long time. So I was weak. But when I heard that door click and I turned to get up, I saw my baby standing at the door. And that broke me. And I just remember grabbing her hand saying, Mommy going to get us some help. And when you see a light shining in the window, that's going to be the police. Open the door. And I ran to my best friend at the time. Her mom was she was this holy lady, holy lady. And she had them prayed over me, and she told her daughter to tell me to come here one day. I was over there and say, you're going through something and you're going to be able to get out. And when you get out this time, don't look back. And I hadn't told nobody what I was going through. So I'm like, she can't know. How she know? I ain't told nobody. So when I left my daughter, I ran to her house. She said it sounded like a tap. But to me, I was banging on the door. But she said it almost sounded like a tap because I was just that weak. So when I woke up in the hospital, and I woke up 2 days later.
Oh my God.
I didn't wake. I wasn't conscious when they came and got me. I woke up 2 days later, and it was 2 nurses. It was a day shift nurse, and it was a nighttime nurse, and I'll never forget. The nighttime nurse put the sheet over the mirror so I couldn't see myself. The daytime nurse came in and said, who put this sheet over this mirror? And I just looked because I'm quiet. I'm still shame and silence. And she said, no, come here. I'm finna help you up because you need to see yourself. And I want you to see yourself because, baby girl, the next time they bring you in here, I'm afraid they're going to bring you in here in a body bag. And that was the last straw.
Mm.
That was the last straw. And I got out. And that's crazy. When you ask this question, I'm going to read this poem, and it's called Depletion of Deletion. He has armed me with strength of every battle that approaches. I hit a roadblock and came to a complete halt. Just couldn't seem to get beyond the intimidating thought of releasing my control and locking the door to be manipulated. The root of my seed and the soil became contaminated. The process of negative thoughts no doubt had to be eliminated. For a short moment, I lost sight of my path of prayer and confessing with my mouth to continue to be covered by His grace. I relocated my work of purpose and gave no energy to the flesh of the enemy. I figured out that when I stumbled, I would never completely fall because He was always there to catch me through it all. And remember, He will never forsake me, for these are the promises in the Bible that give the depletion and deletes the enemy. Mixed emotions had me all over the place as if I was losing my mind. But to the truth, my eyes are now uncovered, and I'm no longer blind to what I lived in as a past history. But through the eyes and lives of others, we still reside statistically, living in false pretense beyond the means, trying to impress materialistically. So distracted by the condescending ways of society, not realizing we are downplaying ourselves mentally. At what point do we release ourselves from the indulging pride in our own actions and become accountable? Looking in the mirror, living in our shadows, afraid of being acceptable. What, Kwana? I can't hear you.
Michael's on. I was saying, yeah, that's pretty deep, you know. Man, listen, I probably would have been dead if I had went through something like this. 'Cause I'm serious, just my mouth and me, like Karana, thinking, I don't care if he is a nigga, I'm about to whoop his ass, and then he probably gonna kill me. So back then, especially my mouth was, woo. But it's that, man. Y'all been through some stuff.
And that was the problem. He wanted me to shut up, and I wouldn't shut up. Like you want to act, but you don't want a reaction back. And that was him. Like, I can say whatever I want to. You just better not say nothing back to me. That was him. Yep. Me, I know. You're not going to say whatever to me, and I'm not going to sit there and just not say nothing. We just going to have to fight. It wasn't like I didn't fight back, because every time I fought back. But he still had, like Young Queen was saying, he's still
he's a man
fighting a demon. He's a man, but you're not fighting him. You're fighting a demon within him.
For sure.
Drugs played a part. So when that's in a part of it, you're definitely not fighting him. So it's the drug that you're fighting, and you're not going to win over the drug, because it makes them stronger. So it's like, I don't care how long we fighting, they're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep beating you until you're tired, because they don't want you to fight back. It's like they lose control if you're fighting back. They don't have the control if you fight back.
Wow. Looking back on, and this question is for both of you, looking back on, the very beginning, not I don't want to go through your childhood,
Mm-hmm.
but when you started getting into Karana, like your marriage and your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
looking back, are you able to say now, or do you recognize now that, oh my God, that was a red flag?
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Most
yes.
definitely. Most definitely. And
My
like her, I didn't see it because I lived it. I lived through it. I watched my mom go through it. So to me, it was a normal.
It was
I
not
can't.
normal for me. I didn't have anybody in my family who had gone through that. My my husband, when I first moved in with him, he had this big 10 by 13 picture on the wall in the living room of him, his daughter, and the baby mom. And I don't know, after a while, I'm like, you got 11 pictures of you and the baby. Why this one got to stay up? And he didn't never want any pictures of me up. It was little stuff like that. He would always find a way to go somewhere and not include me. We were living in Vegas when we were married,
Oh,
so I
wow.
wasn't around my family anymore. So it was a lot of little stuff like that. When I was in the hospital, those 3.5 months, I would go days and days and days without seeing him. Um, a lot of stuff I should have recognized. But this was a childhood friend of mine. I've known him literally my whole life. Our families have been close for generations. So it's like I look for ways and reasons to justify, or I look for justification for his behaviors. That's my boy. I never wanted to see the real him, but he was very much, man, he was planting those red flags like big time. I mean, big time. But you know, he was so our love was so bipolar. Like he would love bomb me on one hand and then be a total jerk on the other hand. Um, like we go to karaoke with his friends and coworkers, and then he'd ask me to sing a song, or he'd put my name in to sing a song, and then just like run up to the stage and pick me up and carry me off and spin me around like officer and gentleman, like so proud and happy because he wanted his peers to like revere me. But the last time that I was performing, I was opening up for Denise Williams and a bunch of people. And it was a huge festival. They claim it was about 20,000 people in the crowd. That morning, I put a relaxer in my hair. So I didn't have my wedding ring on. I didn't put my wedding ring back on. I'm rushing out the door to get so I can make my call time. This cat is front and center. I'm looking at him. I'm singing to him. I'm doing my thing. So he had access to come backstage. Do you know that when I walked off the stage, there was like 2 or 3 steps to come down. He looked at me and cussed me out right there in front of all these people. You could still see me and him from the crowd. Cussed me out and threw his wedding band into the crowd because I didn't have my ring on. Like stupid stuff. So the red flags were on fire with like if there's a fuel that doesn't burn out, yeah, that was them. They were there. They were always there.
And with me, it was, like I say, it was familiar. And I can honestly say I was very naive. and I wasn't with my other kids' dad, so I was just determined to be with him because he was the father to my last kids. So, and I was more worried about what the peers would think of me not being with at least my last kid's dad. So I was more worried about what the world would think versus how I was feeling. I was worried about what people would think instead of worried about me mentally and my emotion. That I think I stuck around. But once, like I said, once I saw my baby face, it was like, no, I can't. I can't allow my kids to go through this. And I promised them I would never take them through that again. And I meant that. And I've been 10 toes down ever since. When I met my husband now, and we've been together 30 plus years now, I gave him a run for his money. I was a BIT, and I admit I was a BITC. You had to write a resume. I'm doing background check. I'm doing all of that. No, I'm not ready for you to meet my kids. I got to be comfortable with you before I bring you home to my children. Me and my children have been through some things, even though the rest of them didn't see that one mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like, no, because I'm afraid of what I might do if we going that route. But I laid down the law. Look, if you the type that like to argue, I'm not for you. You the type that's combative, I'm not for you.
Yeah.
If you can't communicate with me without going to 100, I'm definitely not for you. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing none of that. It was one point I was told, you just have this, I don't get a damn attitude. I said, I really don't give a damn. Because you're trying to take me to a place I fought so hard to get from. So we not going there no more. I don't want her. Her don't want to be released right now.
Right. Right.
I'm trying to leave her in a
Right.
closet.
Right. Right, Lisa.
You with D, stay with D right now. D don't want you to meet Darlene, because Darlene a whole nother person.
Right.
That's Karana and Kay. I get it. Y'all better leave Karana alone.
This is D. I'm trying to mend D and Darlene together so we can be a whole. But D and Darlene healing, so we right here right now. But when we come here, then me and you can come here. But until then, we can't be right up. I'm still doing me. I was a BITCH. And I was pulling them left and that ain't bragging and I ain't boasting. My friend, God bless her soul, she passed. Now you got baseball players trying to holler at you. You got football players. Oh, what? That's their money. I was enticed by money. I was spoiled. My ex gave me whatever I wanted. But if you ain't happy with it, it don't mean diddly.
Not nothing.
It don't mean diddly.
But it would be nice to have a few that fold.
He taught me the game. So when he got locked up, I picked up his customers.
Wow.
I didn't want to sell my body. So hey, I was that one. Trafficking. I can talk about it now. That happened in the 1990s. I was that one trafficking pound to pound, 5, 10, 7 keys, tape around my waist, 5,000 a key. Just to make sure my kids kept a roof over their head. Cause I didn't want no man at a time. I'm still healing. You don't want to mess with that person right now.
Right.
So I'm surviving. This is how I'm surviving until I can get a grip on life. I done been through some things y'all don't even understand. Mentally, I'm not there right now. So I had to
So,
get me together, love me, know how to love me. I met a me I never knew existed.
right.
When
So
I
one thing
found
I want
her,
to say to Karana is and Nisa and Kiki can attest to this, that um I host mental health retreats now. And at the very first mental health retreat, we learned something. At least I'm gonna say we learned something, but I'm gonna say I learned something that I didn't realize. And when you were talking about how you got to the point where you can say, no, I'm not doing it. Nope, nope, no, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. Whatever. But we learned from the therapist that, and this is kind of, it could play a part in domestic violence, or it just could play a part in your everyday life. And what she said to us was, we cannot get angry with someone who treats us badly or treats us or do something to us that we don't like if we've never told them how we want to be treated.
right?
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
if you don't tell some, and me, I've never, and I said this at the retreat, I never felt like if you my friend, I shouldn't have to say, well, girl, look, don't talk to me like this. Don't raise your voice. Don't do this because I don't like that. And I don't like this. And I don't, and that's even with, and like she said, not just with your friends, with your mates, with your family, with everybody. But I never felt like I need, when I meet somebody, I got to give them a sheet of paper of my do's and my don'ts. But
I
again,
feel
like
you.
she said, if you don't, if Karan, if I don't tell you that, hey, listen, I know we have this friendship, but I don't like to be yelled at. I don't like nobody yelling in my face. You know, I don't like this. I don't like that. If I don't tell you that and you yell at me, I can't get mad with you.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to get mad at you, but technically, I can't get mad at you because I did not say to you, Karana, listen, I don't like to be yelled at.
Right.
So, you know, that's something that I learned that I didn't realize that I needed to do. So moving forward, don't, bitch, don't yell at me because that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, I learned. I took that lesson. Unfortunately, after I filed a complaint at a I had a corporate job before, and it was bold sexual harassment. And the VP of HR literally looked me in my face and said, I was just as culpable because I didn't tell him that I don't like that.
Yeah,
I promise you, that's what this man said to me. I said, wait, what? I'm culpable in what he did because I didn't tell him not to. We at work, so it should be common knowledge anyway. But I'm culpable because I didn't tell him that I don't want him to speak that way to or in front of me. Okay. So that lesson I learned years ago, okay, from now on, nobody will ever say that to you again. Tell them you don't like it. Tell them you
yep.
don't, tell them no, tell them stop. Because now there's zero deniability. Now, on this day at this time, in this tone with that demeanor, I said blah, blah, blah. So yeah, corporate America taught me that one.
So, question for both of you guys, because we're going to be coming to an end very shortly. What advice would you give someone who is out there listening, who is going through what you have been through? And what are you guys doing in the community to actually help women that are going through what you're going through?
First
Ooh,
of all, talk about it. Talk
yes,
about it.
definitely.
Don't
Speak
hide
up.
it. Speak up. Speak out. Don't be afraid. You are never alone. Never. When I say never, never alone. Everybody have that one person that they could go to and talk to comfortably. Choose that person. That person gonna become your accountability partner,
Mhm.
and she's gonna hold you accountable to get out, and they're gonna help you because who wants to see their friend going through something like that? And what I'm doing in the community, I counsel teenage pregnancies, and what a lot of people don't know, a lot of teens in junior high and high school go through abuse as well.
Mhm.
And I learned this when as we raised our oldest grand, and she's in college now, but when she was in high school, she started coming home telling me about a couple of her friends, and I say just bring them around me. Now I don't know if you know about the everybody knows about the spirit of discernment. Thank God I was born with it, so I'm able to tell when some people have a certain aura about them, and he don't give it to me for everybody, but I'm gonna just say he give it to me to he allow me to see the people he need me to see through, so I could see when somebody going through something. I could see what happened to them without them even saying a word, if that makes any sense.
Mhm. Makes a lot of sense.
So when she brought them around me, it's like they became comfortable with me. I don't know why. They always feel very open when they come around me to just talk. And then I can't talk to my mom like I talk to you. Why, baby? All you gotta do is, Mom, I need to talk to. No, you don't understand. Uh, Half of the time it be the mom done went through something, but she haven't discussed it with the child. So therefore she don't know how to talk to her own kid.
Mhm.
So there's a door. I got an open door policy. I done got so good at just listening. Because some people just want you to listen. They don't
Yeah.
want to hear the feedback. They just want you to listen. So I become that person. I just listen. And when they are ready for me to answer or ask me a question, I answer back. And I always say, I'm not that one that's gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. Cause I benefit nothing from it, and it ain't finna. You not finna stop my blessings from me telling you a lie. I don't know how to fake. What's the saying? I don't know how to fake the funk. I don't know how to be fake. So I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is what it is. Sometimes it's not what you say; it's how it comes out and how it's being delivered.
Ooh, baby. My mama used to say that all the time. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say it.
Mhm.
That person will be receptive of what you have to say, because their reaction doesn't deserve a reaction, and it's how
Yeah.
you react. Is you worried about you're not worried about how they're gonna react. You worried about your response, because your response gonna make an impact on somebody.
Yeah, well, I had to learn that, and I'm not there yet. It just depends on what you say to me, okay? Okay? I'm trying to get there, but it just depends on what the hell you saying to me. Talking about no react, no, you better watch what you saying.
Yeah, I'm
Okay? I
always
ain't there
open
yet, but
for
I'm trying to get there.
I'm always open for collaboration.
All right. Well, yes, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but Karana, go ahead and I know you said a little bit of your advice, but like now that you're kind of worked through your domestic violence situation and you're better and now you're able to even speak about it, like you say, after all these years. So
Mhm.
now what are you doing to try to help young ladies, men, or whoever might be dealing with this type of situation?
Sure. And funny thing is, I have always been an advocate for domestic violence. I've I was at my grandmother's house one time and I saw a guy outside the window beating up his pregnant girlfriend. And I went out there and I was like, "Oh, you like to hit women? Let's go." I tried to fight him. I let this girl, when I lived in Vegas, this girl I was working with, she was getting abused by her boyfriend. And I let her move in with me and my husband. And that's a no. But I did, because I couldn't let her stay in that situation. And one thing that people, I want you to understand, that one of the biggest abuses that abusers commit is isolation. They get you away from your loved ones. They get you away from your support network. They make you think that they're all you have. Nobody got you like I got you. Until then, once they got you isolated, they get you. And this guy moved this girl from New York to Las Vegas, so she didn't have anybody. And she came to work a little messed up a couple times, and I let her move in with me because I couldn't sit back and watch that. So I've always been an advocate. I'm speaking a lot more. I'm open. If any of your audience has an event, or you got somebody who anybody you want to talk one-on-one, all my social media is public. Slide in my DMs, hit me up. I will definitely talk to you, talk with you, listen to you, help you find resources, talk through what it looks like, help you to plan. That's part of my coaching business, helping people to plan after they have to do a major reset in life. Understanding that don't go barking in this man's face. And I'm speaking from a lady's perspective because I'm a woman. I don't have, this is my experience. So from a woman dealing with a man, don't go get in that man's face. I'm about to leave you, baby. You might not never take another step. So, just talking through what that looks like. I'm doing a lot more speaking, and I'm open to that. And it's part of my community service. It's not something that I'm even charging for. I really feel a strong responsibility to give back in this regard and to help other people, because there might be a couple more of us in the world who feel like, oh, they got them that time. They ain't domestic violence. They were just fighting. No, girl, that's what that is. And that's what that is. And there's men. There's a lot of men who deal with this, who you got to understand. You don't have to sit there in shame, man. Don't sit there in shame. Whatever you do, don't sit there in shame. You're not less of a man for not hitting her back. You're not less of a man for being in that situation. So just me using my platform, using my voice, is something that I'm committed to do for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we probably could use you for some things that's going to be coming down the pipeline. Probably not until the end of next year, but
can you come next weekend?
Okay, what I'm coming for?
The paint that you already there.
Yeah. Oh, you
already
asking
there. What
Corona
are you
can
talking
Are you asking me what's the date?
The 26th.
The 26th. Tentatively, yeah. I don't have my calendar.
I'll connect you guys.
Yes.
I'll connect you guys. But this
Listen,
is
I'm so serious about the support. Let me give y'all my number now. 470-827-9948.
Now wait a minute. Now how you just gonna be calling that number? Ain't nobody got you ain't say, can y'all get a pen? Can you write this down? I'm just gonna give you my number.
What's the number again,
I
Robert?
heard it. 470-828-827-9948.
Yes, that's my business phone. So don't call me with no non-business stuff. I mean, my sisters, y'all. My sisters on this call. Y'all can call me anytime for whatever. It's whatever. But
So D, she has your flyer up. D, tell them about your event.
It's a 2-day event. It's called I Crown Me, and it's an advocate of domestic violence for women and young women to recognize that everything that they have done sometimes we don't make time for ourselves, which is self-care, and we don't recognize the things that we have done because we always in go mode. So
Yeah.
crown yourself, you have done a good job. If nobody never told you, this is a 2-day event for you to do a little relaxation. The first day is wax and wine, where I teach you how to make candles. We're gonna have a little wine, which is Friday. And the next day is
Pain and
what
poetry.
paint and poetry, and from pain to power.
Mm. I'm looking at my calendar. I'm available the 25th, but not the 26th. I'm in a parade the 26th. What time is it on the 26th?
From 5 to 10.
Oh, I might be able to. Let me look at. So I just got that day blocked off, but let me see what. I know the parade is that morning. You got my information. Shoot me a text and we can link up, and I'll let you know the time of that I'll be done tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Well, if anybody needs any information on I Crown Me, you can post your questions on the Ladies Den page, or you can email us at the ladiesden23@gmail.com. Karana, I'll talk to you a little bit later about what we have going on. Myself, Dr. Darlene Screen, I'm still gonna say my TLA sister, because once TLA, always TLA, but my TLA sister, Tammy D. Taylor, the three of us will be opening a domestic violence shelter.
Nice.
So we could probably use you for some of the things that we're gonna have the way we're gonna have the program set up. So, but like I said, we're just in the first stages. I just got the deeds to the land. Now we have to cut down trees and then do all that stuff. So it probably won't be ready till the end of next year. But definitely
keep me in
gonna
the
have
loop. You know I've been building for 30 years. I'm a carpenter by trade, so keep me in the loop.
look
Come
at
on,
that.
Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Won't he do
Lisa,
it?
I need some praise music. Where's that, baby? I need some praise music. I need some praise. Yes, Lord. Look, but Krista, you got some vibe, girl. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
Won't he do it?
Okay, baby, we definitely gonna be talking then. We
Won't
definitely
he
gonna be
do it?
talking then. Yes. So I just thank God because I was given a blessing. One of my patients gifted me 15 acres of land. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Come on
that
now.
was a gift. It was a gift, and there was only one stipulation, and that was to have a domestic violence shelter on the land. And it's already a part of my nonprofit. So it all worked together. So yes. So we definitely got, girl, I'll be calling you tomorrow. Like, look, girl, come on, you need to come over here. We need some floor plans. We need some this. But yeah, we got a lot to do because it's 15 acres and it's a lot that
Yes.
we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But again, it's myself, Tammy Taylor from TLA. And now you we gotta get it. We got to work together. We gotta work
Come on
together. We
now.
gotta work. And also, my friend from the beginning, Miss Natalie Purdy, she's a domestic violence advocate. She's a sex trafficking advocate. She's been through it all. She will be helping with this as well. So right now it's gonna be the five of us. I ain't bringing nobody else in. That's it. That's it. That's it. Lord, the Lord just told me stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Be obedient.
But we be obedient, and we gonna get this done. So thank you, ladies, so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know it's not always hard to relive some horrible moments in your life because we have a bad day at work and we don't even want to relive that. So I applaud you, really. Look at Kiki like for real. So I really applaud you ladies reliving those horrible moments of your life and sharing with us and with the world what you've actually been through. And Karana, I hope that your family rallies around you and really understand what you've been through and that you've been holding this in for so long and you finally got a chance to speak out about it. And I really hope that I really pray that somebody reaches out to you and say, man, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I wasn't there or something.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's not easy to tell our stories because of that one thing that you guys talked about, that shame that we feel. The shame that we feel we're going to be judged.
Right.
But again, when nobody knows your story, they can't feel for you.
Sure can.
So just know this is not our last time talking about this. We're going to keep talking about it. This is our third show on domestic violence. So we domestic violence, sex trafficking, and those two normally go hand in hand. So we will be touching on that again as well. And I'm probably going to have Miss Natalie back. I'm trying to reach out to her now. I'm going to reach out to her and see if she'll come back to talk about the sex trafficking portion of what she does, as well as a domestic violence victim. This man beat her and threw her out the window. So yes. So she told her story last year when we did the domestic violence show. But ladies, anybody that's out there that's going through this, just know that you're not alone. The Ladies Den Alone is here for you. Get in our inbox. Got some questions. You need some help. You need somewhere to go. You need a place to stay. We're going to find you somewhere to stay. You need food. You need clothes. We all have resources.
Yes, ma'am.
We all have resources. Just know that you are not and never alone.
Absolutely.
Amen.
We're also going to put the domestic violence hotline on our page. So if you are in trouble and you're trying to get away and you just don't know what to do and you have a minute to get a phone or get a message or something, call
Need
somebody.
Prayer. Hit my DM.
Huh?
Need prayer. Hit my DM.
Yeah, prayer, anything, whatever you need. You need some counseling. You need some uplift, some talk. Hit Karana up. We are here for you. You are not alone. And like I just saw, every minute there's 20 people, there's 20 victims every minute. 20 victims every minute. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot. That's too many.
That's a lot of people. So we know this was not our lively show like we always do, but sometimes we have to talk about the hard things that other people don't want to talk about.
Right.
Sometimes we have to visit the bad things that people don't want to talk about. But this is one of the things that definitely needed to be talked about, and we will continue to lift our voices about it.
Amen.
Yes, thank you, ladies, for this this show, this opportunity. It's so needed.
Of course, and I greatly appreciate it. I do.
Yes. So, Karana and then Dee, I want you guys to tell people like how they can follow you, where they can find you. Just tell them where they can find you, how they can reach out to you.
Yes. I'm very public. My name is Karana Hosey, Karonna. You can find me on Instagram. My podcast is the Blowing Bubbles Podcast, in case you can't remember my name. Instagram, my website, everything. My name or Blowing Bubbles Podcast. Hit me up.
Dee?
Dr. Darlene Screen. You can hit me up on Facebook, and when you Google Dr. Darlene Screen, everything gonna pop up.
Okay. All right, Doc.
She said, Google me.
All right,
me,
Google
like
her.
that.
Y'all heard what the
Bug out
doctor
Mike,
said?
like
She
Mike.
said,
y'all heard what the
Google
doctor
her.
said. Google me,
Google
boo.
her.
Well, we want to thank you all for joining us in the Ladies Den. Please remember to go follow us on Facebook and go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Ladies Den Podcast. Join us every Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And again, thank you all for
Love
rocking
you,
with us in the
queens.
Den. And we'll see you guys next week.
Lady K, are you ready?
Hey, thank you for joining us in the Den. You can find us here live streaming every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you next week.
You got it locked into the ladies den. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. She was popping in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating. Enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion. They love what they do. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.